Hello everyone, this is Meenakshi Dilip Birari, working as a assistant professor in chemistry at Maratha Vidya Prasarak Samaj, Nasik. Today we are going to discuss about primary nutrients, especially role of nitrogen in plant growth and also its deficiency symptoms related to plant growth. So let's see in detail. We know that nutrients are essential for plant growth. There are total 16 chemical elements are known to be important to a plant growth and survival. We can divide these elements under two main groups. These are non-mineral nutrients and mineral nutrients. Non-mineral nutrients are carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. These are found in air and water. Mineral nutrients, there are 13 mineral nutrients. These nutrients are divided into two groups. These are micronutrients and macronutrients. Classification of essential nutrients mainly classified in two groups, macronutrients and micronutrients. Macronutrients are further classified in three groups. These are structural elements, primary nutrients and secondary nutrients. And micronutrients total 7. These are iron, manganese, zinc, copper, boron, chlorine and molybdenum. Already in previous lectures we have discussed in detail about classification of essential nutrients. So mainly classified in two groups, macronutrients and micronutrients. In today's lecture we will discuss about primary nutrients. One of the primary nutrients, that is nitrogen, its role and deficiency symptoms related to plant growth in detail. So let's move towards lecture. We know that nitrogen is an essential nutrient for plant growth and it is also essential for the development and reproduction. Despite nitrogen being one of the most abundant elements on the earth, nitrogen deficiency is probably the most common nutritional problem affecting plants worldwide. It is because nitrogen from the atmosphere and earth crust is not directly available to the plants. That's why the nitrogen deficiency is probably the most common nutritional problem which is affecting to the plants worldwide. So let's see the role of nitrogen in plant growth. Out of the three major nutrients, plants require nitrogen in the largest amounts. So primary nutrients, these are macronutrients, nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium. Macronutrients, that means it requires in a largest amount. So out of these three major nutrients, plants require nitrogen in the largest amount. Nitrogen promotes rapid growth. It increases the leaf size, also increases crop maturity, and it promotes the fruit and seed development. Nitrogen is the constituent of amino acids which are required to synthesize proteins and other related compounds. Because nitrogen is a constituent of amino acids which are required to synthesize proteins and other related compounds, it also plays a vital role in all plant metabolic processes. Nitrogen is an integral part of chlorophyll pigment and the chlorophyll pigment is involved in the process of photosynthesis. What is photosynthesis? Photosynthesis is the process through which plants utilize light energy to convert atmospheric carbon dioxide and water into carbohydrates in the presence of sunlight and also in the presence of chlorophyll pigment. The formed carbohydrates provide energy required for growth and development of plants. So what is the chemical equation for the photosynthesis process? That is, in this 6 CO2 plus 6 H2O in presence of sunlight and chlorophyll pigment. Formation of carbohydrate, that is having molecular formula C6H12O6 with the removal of 6O2. So that is the whole process called as a photosynthesis, through which the plants utilize light energy to convert atmospheric carbon dioxide and water into carbohydrates. So CO2 plus H2O give the formation of carbohydrates in presence of sunlight and chlorophyll pigment. So these are the different things related to role of nitrogen in plant growth. Now what happens if the nitrogen is deficient in plant? So let's discuss about nitrogen deficiency symptoms. Nitrogen deficient plants exhibit slow stunted growth and their foliage is pale green in nature. The deficiency symptoms generally appear on the bottom leaves firstly, and in severe cases the lower leaves have a fired appearance on tips, turn brown, usually disintegrate, and also there will be fall off of the leaves. So nitrogen deficient plants exhibit slow stunted growth and also their foliage becomes pale green in nature. So it is a nitrogen deficient plant in which the color of the leaves becomes pale green, and the deficiency symptoms generally appear on the bottom leaves firstly. In leafy crops such as tobacco, vegetables, low nitrogen results in low yield and also in low quality. If we consider about the grain crops, when grain crops such as corn and small grains are deficient, they generally exhibit yellow leaf tips and stunted growth with spindly stalks and low yields of poor quality grain. In contrast, too much nitrogen also causes the excessive vegetative growth and also delay maturity. So, when we observe the grain crops such as corn and small grains which are deficient, they generally exhibit the yellow leaf tips and stunted growth with spindly stalks and low yields of poor quality grain due to the deficiency of nitrogen. If we use the excess nitrogen, it also causes the vegetative growth, delay maturity, increases lodging, foster diseases, and also possesses an environmental threat to surface and groundwater. Now, what are the ways by which we can remove the deficiency of nitrogen? So, we can use the fertilizers to remove deficiency of nitrogen. Nitrogen deficiency due to inadequate fertilizer application, denitrification by soil microbes, leaching, and loss due to excessive rainfall. Nitrogen is also lost through the volatilization from surface applications during periods of hot and dry weather, and due to excessive rainfall also the loss of nitrogen it may occur. Leaching occurs most commonly in sandy textural coastal plain soils during periods of excessive rainfall. Nitrogen deficiency can be corrected with an application of nitrogen fertilizer. Crop response to fertilization with nitrogen is generally very prompt, depending on the source of nitrogen, stage of plant growth, rainfall, and also temperature. Nitrogen fertilizer is available in both forms, that is organic form and inorganic forms. The amount of nitrogen in organic sources varies with the source material and also its state of decomposition. However, for commercial crop production, the following inorganic fertilizers are used. So, what are the examples of inorganic fertilizers which are primarily used? These are ammonium nitrate, potassium nitrate, sodium nitrate, calcium nitrate, urea, and also monoammonium phosphate, diammonium phosphate, liquor nitrogen. Ammonium nitrate, it contains about 33.5% of nitrogen, potassium nitrate 13%, sodium nitrate 16% of nitrogen, calcium nitrate 15.5, urea, it contains maximum amount of nitrogen, that is 46%. Monoammonium phosphate contains about 18% of nitrogen. Also, this diammonium phosphate having 46% of nitrogen, and liquor ammonia, that is 13% of nitrogen. So, these are nothing but the inorganic fertilizers which are primarily used. Legume crops requires little or no nitrogen fertilizers. Beneficial bacteria that live in the root of these plants capture the nitrogen from the atmosphere, and this nitrogen is available for use by the plant. So legume crop does not require the nitrogen fertilizer, or it requires very little amount of nitrogen fertilizer. Nitrogen is also used by microbes to break down the organic matter. So these are the various inorganic fertilizers used primarily, and we should remember that legume crops requires little or no nitrogen fertilizer, because the beneficial bacteria that live in the root nodules, they can capture the nitrogen from the atmosphere, and this nitrogen is available for use by the plant. So in short, nitrogenous fertilizers, it includes the anhydrous ammonia in the form of gas, or which is applied as a liquid form pressurized tank. About 82% of nitrogen is available in that. Urea, which is available in the solid form, contains 46% nitrogen. Urea ammonium nitrate solutions available in liquid and having nitrogen content 28 to 32%. So these are few nitrogenous fertilizers: urea, ammonium nitrate, potassium nitrate, and also sodium nitrate. So to correct the deficiency of nitrogen in plant growth, we can use inadequate amount of nitrogenous fertilizers. Now we will discuss about nitrogen cycle. What is nitrogen cycle and how it is important for the uptake of nitrogen by plants. Nitrogen cycle is a biogeochemical process which transforms the inert nitrogen present in the atmosphere to a more usable form for living organisms. So nitrogen cycle, which is a biogeochemical process through which the nitrogen is converted into many forms, consequently passing from the atmosphere to the soil and also to the organism and back into the atmosphere. It involves the several processes such as nitrogen fixation, nitrification, denitrification, decay, and putrefaction. The nitrogen gas exists in both organic and inorganic forms. Organic nitrogen exists in living organisms, and they get passed through the food chain by the consumption of other living organisms. Also, the inorganic forms of nitrogen, which are found in abundance in the atmosphere, this nitrogen is made available to plants by symbiotic bacteria, which can convert the inert nitrogen into a usable form, such as nitrites and also nitrates. Nitrogen undergoes various types of transformations to maintain a balance in the ecosystem. So nitrogen can go through the many transformations in the soil, and these transformations are often grouped into a system that is called as the nitrogen cycle, which can be presented in varying degrees of complexity. So we should remember what is nitrogen cycle. Nitrogen cycle is a biogeochemical process which transforms the inert nitrogen present in the atmosphere to a more usable form for living organisms. We know that nitrogen from the atmosphere and earth crust is not directly available to the plants, so that there is a most common nutritional problem affecting plants deficiency related to the nitrogen. So by using nitrogen cycle, there is the transformation of the inert nitrogen present in the atmosphere to a more usable form for living organisms. This process involves nitrogen fixation, nitrification, denitrification, decay and also putrefaction. So the nitrogen gas N2, which exists in both forms, that is organic and inorganic forms, and that can be converted into the more usable form. Nitrogen can go through many transformations in the soil, and these transformations are often grouped into a system called the nitrogen cycle, which can be presented in varying degrees of complexity. The nitrogen cycle is appropriate for understanding nutrient and fertilizer management because microorganisms are responsible for most of these processes. They occur very slowly, if at all, when the soil temperatures are below 50 degree Fahrenheit, but their rates increases rapidly as the soil becomes warmer. The heart of nitrogen cycle is the conversion of inorganic nitrogen to organic nitrogen and vice versa. As microorganisms grow, they remove H plus ion. Process of nitrogen cycle consists of the following steps, that these are nitrogen fixation, nitrification, then mineralization, in that the gaseous atmospheric nitrogen which is stored, and due to that various processes that will be fixed into the available form. Inorganic forms of nitrogen are found in abundance in the atmosphere. This nitrogen is made available to plants by symbiotic bacteria, which can convert the nitrogen into inert nitrogen into the usable forms such as nitrites and nitrates. So that is the whole process. In that NO2 minus is converted into NO3 minus. Then also the ammonium form, that is NH4 plus, is may be converted into NO2 minus, like that. So that is the whole process called as a nitrogen cycle. So what are the stages of nitrogen cycle? These are nitrogen fixation, nitrification, assimilation, ammonification and denitrification. So these processes take place in several stages, and we can explain these one by one in detail. Gain of nitrogen by soil, it occurs by 4 to 5 ways. So there are the different ways to gain the nitrogen by the soil. First, nitrogen fixation by symbiotic bacteria. Acquisition of nitrogen by the soil can happen by 4 ways. These are nitrogen fixation by symbiotic bacteria, then azoification or nitrogen fixation by non-symbiotic bacteria, third one addition by rain or snow, and the fourth addition through the manures and fertilizers. So first of all, nitrogen fixation by symbiotic bacteria. So what is the process, or what is that nitrogen fixation? So the physiological partnership between bacteria and higher plants, it is called as symbiosis. Nitrogen fixation, it is the initial step of the nitrogen cycle. In that atmospheric nitrogen N2, which is primarily available in an inert form, is converted into usable form, that is ammonia, that is NH3. Simply nitrogen fixation, which is the first or the initial step of nitrogen cycle. In this process, atmospheric nitrogen N2 is converted to ammonia NH3. Symbiosis, that is the physiological partnership between bacteria and higher plants, which is called as symbiosis. It is also known as biological nitrogen fixation or symbiotic nitrogen fixation. In this, the nitrogen is fixed by certain group of bacteria in soil for the use of higher plants through the process which is known as symbiotic nitrogen fixation. The bacteria which live in symbiotic relationship with the host plant and fix nitrogen in the root nodules. So what are the symbiosis? They derive the energy which is needed for the purpose from the carbohydrates of the host plant. In this, both partners are benefited. So this process, it is called as a symbiosis, in which the physiological partnership it occurs between the bacteria and also into the higher plants. The nitrogen fixed by the legume bacteria may be used by the host plant or may pass into the soil either by excretion or by the falling of roots and nodules, so that benefiting the associated non-legume crops also. Azobacter and Rhizobium also have a major role in this process. So these bacteria consist of a nitrogenase enzyme which has the capability to combine gaseous nitrogen with hydrogen to form ammonia. Then the second method, that is nitrogen fixation by non-symbiotic bacteria, which is called as azofication. Nitrogen can be fixed in the soil by certain free living organisms belonging to different groups of bacteria, which are blue-green algae and also some fungi. Two groups of heterotrophic bacteria, for example azobacteria and Clostridium species, for this process are obtained from the decomposition of organic matter. They decompose organic matter. They are sensitive to changes in soil pH. In soils with pH less than 6, the amount of nitrogen fixation is very low. So this is the second method for the gain of nitrogen by soil, that is azofication, nitrogen fixation by non-symbiotic bacteria. Third one, addition by rain or snow. Rain and snow add nitrate and ammonical nitrogen to the soil. In temperate regions, the ammonical nitrogen added to the soil through precipitation is greater than NO3 form. So this is the third way, that is gain of nitrogen by soil by rain or snow. Then the fourth, addition through manures and fertilizers. So by adding through manures and fertilizers also the gain of nitrogen by soil it occurs. So this includes the mineralization, nitrogen mineralization. So what is nitrogen mineralization? Nitrogen mineralization may be defined as the conversion of available organic nitrogen by microorganisms into the more mobile and readily available nitrogen. So soil nitrogen exists in three general forms, that is organic nitrogen compounds, ammonium NH4 plus ions and also nitrate ions NO3 minus ions. At any given time, 95 to 99% of the potentially available nitrogen in the soil is in organic form, either in plants and also in animal residues. In relatively stable soil, organic matter or in living soil organisms, mainly microbes such as bacteria. So this nitrogen is not directly available to plants but some can be converted to available forms by microorganisms. A very small amount of organic nitrogen may exist in soluble organic compounds such as urea that may be slightly available to plants. So the majority of plant available nitrogen is in the inorganic forms, that is in the form of NH4 plus and NO3 minus. So sometimes this nitrogen, inorganic form of nitrogen, is also called as mineral nitrogen. Ammonium ions bind to the soil's negatively charged cation exchange complex, and it behaves much like other cations in the soil, so that the nitrate ions do not bind to the soil solid because they carry negative charges, but they can exist in the dissolve in the soil water or in the soil solution, or also precipitated as a soluble salt under dry conditions. So nitrogen in soil, it is available in three general forms: organic nitrogen compounds, also ammonium, that is NH4 plus ions, and nitrate NO3 minus ions. So in soil, nitrogen is available in three different forms. These are nitrogen, also the organic nitrogen, inorganic nitrogen, NH4 plus and NO3 minus. So due to the mineralization and immobilization, one form may be converted to the other, and it is readily available for the use of plants. With the help of microorganisms, the conversion or the mineralization of nitrogen, it occurs. So nitrogen transformations in soil, when we discuss, it includes the various steps, and that is called as a mineralization, nitrogen mineralization. Nitrogen mineralization may be defined as the conversion of available nitrogen, organic nitrogen, by microorganisms into the more mobile and readily available nitrogen. The mineralization, it consists of three stages. These are aminization, ammonification and nitrification. So let's discuss first of all aminization. The decomposition of organic matter is the enzymatic digestion of proteins into amino compounds such as proteases, peptones, and finally amino acids. So the initial step in the decomposition of organic matter is the enzymic digestion of proteins into amino compounds such as proteases, peptones, and finally into amino compounds. So that is proteins and proteinase compounds in the presence of enzyme digestion converted into amino compounds, that is RNH2. So this process, it is called as aminization. Microorganisms synthesize the extracellular proteolytic enzymes which are useful in protein decomposition. So this total one, decomposition of organic matter in the presence of enzymic digestion into amino acids or the amino compounds. Second one, ammonification. When plants or animals die, the nitrogen present in the organic matter is released back into the soil. The decomposers, namely we can say that are bacteria or fungi present in the soil, convert this organic matter back into ammonium. So this process of decomposition produces ammonia, which is further used for the biological process, and the whole process, it is called as a ammonification. That means bacteria can convert the nitrogen present in the organic matter into ammonium. So these are nothing but the process in which nitrogen is converted into NH4 plus. So that one called as a ammonification. So optimum temperature for ammonification is usually between 40 degrees Celsius and 60 degrees Celsius. In this pathway, amino compounds converted into ammonia and then into ammonium. So first of all, that is nothing but the ammonia in presence of the various material like alcohol or ROH which are present in the organic matter, converted into ammonia, and this ammonia are also converted into NH4 plus. So the whole process it occurs in the presence of bacteria or fungi. So that is the conversion of nitrogen into NH4 plus in the presence of bacteria, so called as ammonification. The optimum temperature required, that is about 40 degrees Celsius to 60 degrees Celsius. Then the third one, that is nitrification. The conversion of ammonical nitrogen by autotrophic organisms into NO3. It is called as nitrification. This process is carried out in two stages. In this process, the conversion of NH4 plus into NO3 minus and the conversion of NO2 minus into NO3 minus. These are two stages. The ammonia is converted into nitrate by the presence of bacteria in the soil. Then nitrites are formed by the oxidation of ammonia with the help of bacterium species. So species like Nitrosomonas, Nitrosococcus, which are important in oxidation of ammonium to nitrite and nitrate. So this process carried out in two stages, that is the conversion of NH4 plus into NO3 minus and the conversion of NO2 minus into NO3 minus. The conversion of NO2 minus into NO3 minus. The species of the general Nitrosomonas and Nitrosococcus are important in oxidation of ammonium to nitrite, and species of the type Nitrobacter and Nitrocystis are important in the oxidation of nitrite to nitrate. So these are two stages. In contrast to ammonification, nitrification is very sensitive to the environmental factors. Sufficient aeration is a must for nitrification, and nitrification starts about 1.5 to 4.5 degrees Celsius, and also it increases in intensity up to 27 to 32 degrees Celsius. The optimum moisture requirement for the plant is also favorable to efficient nitrification. Nitrogen is abundant in the atmosphere, but it is unusable to the plants or animals unless it is converted into nitrogen compounds. Nitrogen fixing bacteria plays a crucial role in fixing the atmospheric nitrogen into nitrogen compounds that can be used by the plants. The plants also absorb the usable nitrogen compounds from the soil through their roots. The nitrogen compounds are also used for the production of proteins and other compounds in the cell. Animals assimilate nitrogen by consuming these plants or other animals that contain nitrogen. Humans consume proteins from these plants and also animals, and then the nitrogen assimilates into our system. So during the final stages of the nitrogen cycle, bacteria and fungi also help to decompose the organic matter. So nitrogen cycle is also important for the assimilation or absorption of nitrogen by plants. So today we have studied in detail about the primary nutrient, that is nitrogen, role of nitrogen and also its deficiency symptoms related to plant growth, and the fertilizers used to recover the deficiency of nitrogen. In next lecture we will discuss about the another primary nutrient, that is phosphorus.